So, here is my hammock setup on a fence and a tree, in addition to a random barbecue grill. So what I have here, let me take you folks around and show you what I've got. Right here I just have a standard polyester strap, 100% polyester, because if you don't do 100% polyester, the straps stretch. This is a Marlin spike hitch. This is just an old tent stake that I cut off. And then I put carabiners into my whoopee slings so they don't go inside themselves. So on one end of the hammock I have this fancy smancy whoopee sling, which I won't go into too much detail on. You can look that up online and many other places. And for sake of time, I just want to make this a short video. This is a Grand Trunk ultralight. There's the bag that's attached to the hammock. On the ultralight I have a couple of snake skins that were homemade. Really lightweight fabric. I'll show you how those work in a second. And on the other end I have tree straps. This is a rigid line. It's not adjustable like the whoopee sling is down here. But I have a couple climbing grade carabiners, wire gate carabiners, that are holding this end of the hammock up on the fence. And so just to show you the portability of this, I have this set up on this fence with the tree here and the fence here. Works rather. This is nice. Well, this is just at the apartment that I'm currently living at. And so let's show you how the rest of it works. So let me pull these snakeskins off. They pull off pretty easy. Hammock opens up. Just for reference, I mean, the Grand Trunk ultralight is pretty big. Now, when you're camping, what I recommend is that you actually put a pad underneath the hammock. And so normally you'd put some sort of sleeping bag or underquilt when it's really cold, but your camping pad goes inside the hammock. Excuse me, the camping pad should go inside the hammock. So for this one, the camping pad just simply fits inside my hammock, and then I put my sleeping bag on top of the pad. That way it keeps me warmer at night. Remember, bridges freeze before roads, and so you'll want to keep in mind that hammocks are going to sleep a little cooler than the ground, because the ground actually acts as an insulator. So to get into the hammock, grab the sides of the hammock here, sit down in the hammock like this, and then sit diagonal like this. This is nice. I must admit, this is really nice. If you'll notice, I'm laying pretty flat. Plenty of fabric. And I make sure I have no sharp objects in my pockets. I took my keys out. Notice I also took my shoes off. To keep the hammock from blowing around, I'll just put my shoes in there just to keep it in place. So why do I like hammock camping? I have a bad back. I'm in my early 30s, and my back's already blown out from doing a lot of construction when I was younger. I now hammock camp when I go out. It's a lot more portable. It's lightweight. Doesn't weigh very much at all. As you can see, the wind is just lightly blowing. It's blowing the hammock all over the place. Ideally, when you go hammock camping, you'd also like to put a tarp above this as well. For sake of time, what I suggest is, if you're interested in doing this, go to hammockforums.net and go in there and learn from the experts. I am really a beginner in this field, but I know enough to be dangerous, and also know enough to not sleep on the ground if I can afford not to. And considering that the Grand Trunk ultralight is only $20, I can afford not to. There's some accessories on here that you won't get with the ultralight when you purchase it. That is, you won't get the snake skins. You also don't get a suspension system. You have to purchase one. I'm just showing the suspension systems that I have here just for reference only. I've got the rigid line, which is the tree straps that you can pick up, or this is a custom setup that I've made. Via the people at hammockforums.net. Anyhow, this is my Grand Trunk Ultralight. I also have owned a Grand Trunk Skeeter Beater Pro. I sold that in lieu for a Hennessy Ultralight. Got a good deal on that at REI. It was used. Well, used. Looked like it had been bought and then put in someone's garage and then given back to REI. I don't think they knew what they were doing. Yeah, suffice it to say, I got a really good deal on that. Anyhow, yeah, if you're going to hammock camp, I suggest you start with one of these. It's really cheap, really easy. Hang it up in your backyard, try out some suspension systems, and then camp out in your backyard. And this is my setup. This will probably be video one of many. I'll show you some other videos of my hammock setup as I have time. Yes, the Grand Trunk Ultralight, in addition to a random barbecue grill.